What's up, what's up, what's up? We're back with the VlogPod, the video version. I believe this should be episode 7. Let me check real quick. It should be, yes, because I had not finished editing 6. So this will be episode 7.
Okay.
And I will get on the title, but episode 7.
All right. Episode 7.
For the audio, we're at 160. So for the audio, we are at the 7th as well. Okay. So that's for both. So this week, we will start off with, which we didn't get to finish last week, is the Samsung event.
Okay.
So they had three phones that came out: the S20, S22, and the Ultra. Now, the thing that they were talking about with the S20, S22 were like kind of same phone, you know?
Okay.
Last year, let me scroll back up here. So as you can see, like this part right here.
Okay.
Literally, like they just took the processor and updated it, but it's really the same phone. And then what they did with the Note is they're no longer doing a Note. Oops. Go in here. There we go. Okay, so they're no longer doing a Note. This would be the new. So they call it the Ultra, but this is basically a Note. So it's basically the Note body with the cameras and the S
Pen. Yeah. So two extra cameras on this one.
Yeah, so last year it was this, but just like I showed you the last one, where it had the bump on it on the back, it was this in a black bump. I'll show you. So.
Mm-hmm. So it was okay. Go ahead.
So it was this. So you get the black outer frame, and then all they did with this one is take that frame off and just embed it with the back of the phone.
Okay.
So I was thinking about it, and I'm like, it's not really. It's cool, but I mean, if I was the type of person that didn't have a cell phone and just say, I was going to go get one and it was going to be a Galaxy, I just don't know if this would be like the phone that I'd go for. So, right now they're doing, so what is this? So, you have your colors and all that stuff and trade-ins. And I was just thinking, like, if I were to get this phone, like, what would be the incentive? So, the price is $1,200. The only downside to it is, one, I think Apple's doing it too, but the phone companies are starting to disinclude expandable memory. So instead of you being able to go buy the SD card to put in your phone, the micro SD, you're literally paying for memory. So like Apple, you're paying for 64 gig, you're paying for 128, you're paying for 256, depending on what you use the phone for. If you barely use it, then you have your 64 gigs. If you use a lot, 256, 128, what have you. But it's getting mighty costly. And like I said, you look at $12.99 for a phone. That's almost like rent in a low budget apartment complex.
True.
So it just depends on if you're that type of person that needs a phone and you don't have one, you're going for Galaxy. I mean, would I personally go for it? No. I would probably go for the Fold, but that's just me. Where's your head at?
Okay. Well, let's look at the whole demographic. Okay. In 2 years, it's going to be 15 different cameras. That whole top's going to be number cameras. Because that's everybody's on social media. They need to capture everything that they do. So they got. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Yes, and eventually, I mean, remember when I first came out, that cell phones only had there was no texting, it was only calling. It was a Zach Morris brick phone. Okay, so to have the capabilities of my device change. Well, now with the situation going in, is that the phones are great, right?
Right.
But they're trying. It's like they're trying to make two different things are getting merged because you can do everything on a tablet that you can do on a cell phone nowadays.
Right.
Right. But the only thing about it is that you're not going to walk around with a cell phone like a boom box up to your ear. But you got Bluetooth, so it doesn't make a difference. But so it's the point where the niche for a cell phone, yes, they have to make it. Yeah. At one time, you had external battery. That's one of the first things they killed. Get ready for external battery. Make it internal. So you have to buy a new device. You can't just go out and spend money and buy a new battery.
Right.
Right. Yeah. The memory. Everybody else SD card. Okay, that got to the point where it's like, why have an SD card? We'll just make them with a lot of memory. Okay. Well, we have to keep you buying, right? And so depending on what you do, makes a difference to what type of memory you need. Me, I need how much memory do I need? Not much because I don't use my phone that way. I call, I text. I mean, I have photos,
Right.
but besides that, I'm not a gamer on my phone. I mean, I'll sit somewhere, or I'll be sitting with people and they're playing Candy Crush or whatever the heck they're playing. I Dream of Zelda or whatever it is, and I'm just sitting here like this. Check my stocks, check my crypto. I'm good to go. I am limiting my time on that. But if you're in that generation that always needs to be hooked up, and you want to show me that you spent 250 on a latte or whatever that is, they're selling to the people who want to be on their phone constantly, and they'll pay for whatever they want because not only that, it's a status symbol, right?
Yep.
I mean, like this. Hold on, I got the new phone. I got the new phone. You yourself have told me my phone is old as heck. It calls, it sends text to the sons and the people I need to, and it does quick trans. I don't need a suit. I don't need a Ferrari. I'm good with my Pinto. Half your audience doesn't know what a Pinto is. But I'm just saying is the fact that they are trying to recapture something because you put out a iPad or you put out a tablet, it does the same thing. You can do everything on a tablet that you can do it. It's just not compact. So they have to try to, you get the commercials with them showing you I'm recording the whole movie on my phone. Is that what you want to do? Have at it. Would I get one of those? No, that's above what I need. If I get to that point, then maybe we'll have a different conversation.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at with doing the comparisons and everything. I mean, I've watched a couple of reviews and they were talking about like all the battery life and having the phone. The difference between somebody that is a power user, who's always recording stuff or watching videos or making calls or always listening to music, versus someone who just has it for calling texting, the occasional, little video or what have you. And they were showing all the phones and how long they last. And screen time, basically, how long can your phone last without you ever locking it in a 24-hour period? And they had the 22 Ultra, this one, the 21 Ultra, and then 2 other phones, and the iPhone. iPhone lasts the longest, but they were going through all the how long it could stay on. And so, when I look at like the battery size and the storage, I'm just like, I get it, but the innovation is really gone. How all the phone companies I've seen, you can do so much. See, you can only do so much with cameras. You can only do so much with the screen. You can only do so much with the look of the phone. And I saw that when these came out, I said, "Oh, it's basically the same phone. Like literally, this one is literally this, just with the the raised hinge." And then somebody would say, "Well, isn't the iPhone the same thing?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is, but with iPhone, and now it's more about, instead of the change of the phone, from what I've seen, it's one, the design, which is kind of recycled from old iPhone, but 2, how long can the phone last? It's now about all-day battery life. And when they say all-day battery life, like I said, if you literally had your phone on and the phone was unlocked from, let's say, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, could your phone last from 3 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock, say 3 o'clock Monday morning, 3 o'clock Tuesday morning, with music, with podcasts, with calling, with texting, with, if you watch a video, you're sending the video, you're downloading some files, what have you. Could your phone last for that day and a half without dying or without needing to be charged? And from my understanding, between the 12 and the 13 for Apple, it was make the camera bigger and make the phone so it could last all day.
Well, here's the thing. Now we got to look at the big picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. So you get a phone every how often? Average person.
Average person about every year.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely below average. So every year, right?
Year.
So that customer is going to come back to me for every year for this big purchase, right?
Right.
Why am I going to make the battery infinity? Because I can't sell the accessories, right? Can I give you an example?
Yeah.
I know a lot of iPhone users, right? How many people that come to your house and the first thing they do, they're looking for outlets to plug their stuff into, and they're like plug. What are you doing? Well, I got to charge my phone. My phone's sitting right there, and I'm good to go. But depending on what you do, but so they have to sell accessories. They need you to have 4 different chargers because you have to have one in your backpack, one in your car, one in your diaper bag, one that's left over somebody else's house, so you can charge your device. Correct?
Yes, and I have a rabbit hole on that one.
We're gonna die. Let's die. Hey, your iPhone. You guys are yes.
But that's one of the things I was contributing to, which is, yes, I would say probably about okay, the iPhone 11. After the iPhone 11, Apple and a couple of the other companies stopped selling the cords. So when you get the box, you just get the phone, you get the box, because it was like, how many previous phones have you bought that you've had a wall block and a cord? So they only sell the cord. They only sell the phone in the box.
Okay.
So then it comes the issue. Okay, if you're only selling the phone in the box without the cord because you have a whole bunch of cords, we have to make a phone that can last. And that's one thing, like I said, why I like 13 that I have, because when I got the phone, me, I like to do I like to look at a lot of reviews, a lot of YouTube reviews about different phones, different technology that comes out before I try it. I want to look at reviews, see how it's going, so I can get a different perspective. And when I tested it out, my
Go
phone
ahead.
lasted 36 hours on one charge with Netflix, YouTube, texting, calling, uh, playing video game, playing the mobile games, all that. 36 straight hours from 100 down to 0% where I can't turn it back on.
Okay. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. So the next time that we're together and you're at my house or in my car and you plug your crap in, I'm gonna yank the crap out because you just told me you had 36 hours, right? And we're
Okay,
on camera.
let me
No,
clarify.
no, you just said
The
it. You
reason the
just said
reason I said 36 hours is because I'm
it.
making a point that yes,
You. So
previously
was that a metaphor or was that true fact? You said
it
36 hours.
it
You
was
told me
true.
a day and a half. So
It's true, but this is what I'm saying.
good. All right, we're done. You
This
did this.
this is what I'm saying. After the fact that I saw that the phone could last for that long, it didn't entice me to want to continually try and push it for those 36 hours. It was, hey,
Well,
if you can get a charge here, the charge there, and make it last a little bit longer throughout the day, why not?
like I said, I'm putting coin operated outlets in my house
But that
and
is
in my car. So
that
ka-ching,
is one of
just
those
swipe.
things. And that's when I was looking at the Galaxy. I said, it's a great phone, and I know that they last a while. And I was just thinking, comparing just the phone itself to the iPhone. It's like I'm seeing that most of the innovation now is focused on how the camera looks on the phone and the battery life. How long can a phone last? And can you make the cameras to where they're appealing enough to buy and make them to where they are good enough for different types of day photography and long term video?
Okay. Now, so you know who that's being marketed to, right?
Yes.
Okay. If you remember, if you think about the demographic, because people my age and maybe my age and a little, okay, God dog it. People in my age range,
Right.
right? Like I said, we grew up with cell phones that just called. We grew up with beepers first. Okay.
Right.
Then we had the cell phone that we could not afford because it cost $15 a minute. Right.
Right.
So then now, and so what'd you do? You had your beeper for you get your calls. Then you got into a this is the thing that for people that for your generation millennial, correct?
Yes.
Okay. For people who did not grow up with a landline in their house, they don't know to see when you have to plug. So when you say I'm plugging in my phone to charge it, if you don't have a Bluetooth, you're stuck to the wall like we were back in the 70s and 80s. You can't go anywhere, right? That's
Right.
not what it's made for. And I understand I don't understand it's a very powerful computer. It does a lot of different functions, right? But at the same time, it's to the point where do I need all that? No, there's stuff on my phone I do not need. Do I enjoy it? Yes, it does a lot of stuff that I do need. But at the same time, what I'm saying is the fact that they're not marketing to people that are older because, I have one person a long time ago take pictures because your camera's better. It's a phone. Sorry. It went from think of something. When did it go from being I have a cell phone to being a device?
I want to say
In the last 5-10 years?
Yeah, about when Samsung started really well. I
When
think
the
I want to say
back
about
when the Droid came out, right?
yeah, because it was basically marketed as what more can you do with the phone besides text and call.
All right, Dan, later.
What?
Later. Ethan, sir. That's it.
Who?
Ethan.
Okay.
Youth group. He's here. I gotta get my stuff, and I'm reading.
So we got a device, a clicky touch phone. So and at the time I worked for Verizon, so I remember when the Droid came out, right?
Right.
And it stopped being a phone. At that point, it became a device. Put your devices away, right?
Right.
So all I'm saying to you is this: is that they're not marketing because right now, the camera, okay, cool, whatnot. Battery life, yes, but now they're making back in my day, you had external battery. The battery went down. You went down to your local batteries or else, or you went to your local store. You bought a battery and you get to go. Then they tell you that okay, well, you can't charge your battery. Charge your battery at once, and let it die all the way down. All these different schools of thought on how to maintain your device. It's like okay, right now my battery life is shoddy because how old is my phone?
Yeah. Let me see. When did
But I walked into the T-Mobile store and he told me that you automatically upgrade because that's around a 4 year. My phone is.
Oh yes.
It's been a while.
March 2018. March 16th, 2018. So yeah. About 4 years and yeah, almost 4 years old.
Yeah. So to a person like you, I'm too slow.
Yes.
You need.
Yes.
You're like as you when you went down there right.
Yes.
I'll cruise like Sunday morning. But so they're not talking to me because the speed is a lot different. Avery? So yeah. Sure. Okay, sorry. We can go to the next question.
Okay, so next one is Peloton.
Avery, go. Well, hurry up. Ethan's out. We're not gonna wait for you.
So there's a new CEO of Peloton.
How long will it take?
And he was working with he was a former CFO for Spotify and Netflix.
Okay.
And a lot of the talk that I was hearing was so obviously Microsoft bought the gaming platform. And then Sony bought Bungie, the company that made Halo. And they were talking about Apple buying Peloton. Because Apple right now already has Apple Fitness, which is basically their subscription service for working out. And you get it, and basically they have people trainers that work out, and they record like a 15, 30, 45-minute video for you to basically do workouts, like yoga, walking, all that stuff. And, using the watch is what helps out. But they were saying because of this platform that they have, and Peloton's a biking company, they produce a bike and you have this tablet that you're sitting in front of looking at. And you have the instructors talking to you and going back and forth. And they were talking about Apple buying it, being as they already have one fitness company, including a bike, and what you have either a tablet or iPad that you're just looking at, so you can always make money off of that, and just put the Apple Fitness software in there. Now you have biking, and then say you take the the tablet off, and now
Mhm.
you can sit it down and get into, you know, some yoga or some cool down methods. So that's one of the other things that was on the docket. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I haven't done any research on it, and that I mean Peloton. I see this, with COVID, everything changed. You know, going to the gyms, you couldn't go to the gym, but I like the fact that that's taking off and a lot of online things going on that will promote health. But I don't have an Apple Watch. I have a Samsung, and I still do my health because health is very important. And it's good to see companies trying to have healthier customers by offering these services. I mean, because there's some people who don't want to go to a gym. There are people who don't have time to go to a gym. But if I can throw 30 minutes on a bike, then that way I can get my fitness in, which it's always good. I mean, one of my gym's thing is like, okay, 10 minutes or 10 miles, as long as you're out there getting it done. And that is, you know, uh, promoting, the health part of the thing. So, like I said, I haven't researched it or looked into it because I don't have a Peloton or whatnot, and I have no interest in it. That interest, I have no holdings, but at the same time, health is paramount because there's one good thing about health, or one bad thing about health, actually. And you know what that is?
If you don't work on it, it gets worse. I mean, it starts decreasing.
Well, no, it's the way the health system is. Okay, you can have many houses or many places to live, right?
Right.
You can have many vehicles, many cars, correct?
Right.
Where the heck did you go? Oh, there. Are you there? Oh, there you go. Hold on. Okay. Many cars, many houses, many vehicles, many clothes, all this stuff, right?
Right.
How many bodies do you get?
One.
One. Okay. You get one body. The funny thing about it is that you take your car and they tell you that you need an oil change every 3,000 miles or every 3 months, right?
Right.
They tell you to have your tires rotated. They give you for your vehicle, you get this owner's manual that tells you how often you should get done things maintained, right?
Right.
And this is on a vehicle that you could trade at any time and get a new one.
Right.
So the health, like right now, I'm on a program with my insurance, and they pay for most of my gym membership. And it's like, why? Because if I could keep you healthy, you won't have to go to the doctor. If you work out and you're fit, and fit means if you move 30 minutes a day, if you're not sedentary, you can start to have more energy and more things. So it's more of a maintenance thing than it is I'm here and I can't do anything. So my thing is this: is that it's nice that they're trying to put that in because, I was thinking about getting because I saw LeBron James ad, and I was looking at that thing, and I'm like, oh, but I have to research it before I go into it because I would like to have it at home when it's 3 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning. I wake up.
the tonal.
Yes. Yes, I was thinking about getting something like that because I had a total gym a long time ago. And Chuck Norris is 81 years old, and he's using this thing. I'm like, holy crap. So I was thinking about getting something that is going to be able to, when I can't get to the gym, I can still work out. Because I have to work out. I have to work my body and keep it going.
So, do you think that So this is basically a piece of metal with a screen on it on your wall with extensions attached to it for you to work out. Now, my question is, if you had this, would you substitute this for your gym membership? And if so, why?
Well, it would. Well, first of all, it would depend on what I'm trying to do. If I'm trying to gain muscle, if I'm trying to be a power lifter, this isn't going to work for me because I need to work. I need to lift and shock my body enough that this is going to do something. If I'm trying to maintain, it, it could work, but to be able to, depending on what you're trying to do, and I like the marketing team. Yeah, you're gonna get Serena. You're gonna get. She's the biggest name in tennis, right? LeBron is the biggest name in basketball, right?
Right.
Or the biggest name associated with basketball. Let me rephrase that. So that way, so of course you're going to get him doing it because you see him, but you know that this is not what he does. Would I change this for my gym membership? No, this would be a supplement to that. This would be okay. I'm going upstairs. This may be a 2 a day, or I do this 3 days a week. I get up in the morning on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, do this just to get the body moving. And then I would go ahead and I would hit the gym for the heavy weights until I found that once but if I realized that I could go up to 400 pounds and I could do squat, if I could do everything I need to do, yes, I would do it. The only reason why I go to the gym is because sometimes having a gym at home is too convenient. You have to block time out. And what I mean by that is when I go to the gym, I go to the gym to do what I gotta do. I ain't talking to nobody. I'm there, I'm focused, earphones in, I'm gonna give it my all for an hour.
Right.
At home, it's dinner time that, you got to think, do I stop or do I keep going? But if I'm able to lock myself in, oh, heck yeah. I sit back and I do that. I put that in my den and I'd be, come out looking like Lou Ferrigno.
So, would you finance it or would you purchase it?
If my research came up to the point where if the research showed that I'm going to achieve what I want to, I would probably just go ahead and outright buy it. Or what I would do, knowing me, because I'm skeptical, I'll probably finance it and see what our results were after 3 6 months, and if our results were getting what I need to get to, and then I'll be okay. I'm cool, good, boom.
Okay.
How about yourself? That's a long pause.
I'm debating in my head because I'm like, for me, it's cool, but I'd have to have a gym, and I'd have to do a man cave and purchase workout equipment to make a gym. It's great and all. It's just what's that? Nostalgia.
Well,
I'm
here's the
really
thing.
gonna get it, and 2 3 months in, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to sit looking at this screen. I want to, you know, feel the burn or do something else, like I feel like I'd get bored of it too quick, or I'd kind of get bored of the limited amount of workouts or limited amount of accessories or things I could do with it.
So see, you're still on that phone thing. How many accessories I need for this
Well,
everything?
I feel like when you're at the gym, you have dumbbells because you have a lot of parts of your body that you can work out. And I get the convenience of having a machine at your house that you can do a good maybe 50 to 65% of those workouts. But again, like you said, there's a difference between having a machine like this that's what, say $3,000 that you can buy and set up in your room or your man cave, what have you, and then use it when you need to, versus
Well,
having an actual gym. You went out and bought all the equipment, and you got everything set up, and you can go get a heavy bag or what have you, and have a whole gym set there to where you have each individual item. You may not
okay.
want to look at a screen and talk to it and look at a person talk to you the whole time. Maybe you want to just turn the music on loud and just pump.
Do you have a gym membership?
Kinda, yes.
Kinda, yeah.
As in, if I went to the gym on base, I could get I could get into it.
So you don't. So, but you're saying- Hello.
Okay, so yeah, I'd rather have a. I'd rather do a. I'd rather just do the at home gym. I mean, it's cool for nostalgia purposes, but if I'm just thinking like long term, I don't know. Is that difference of actually going to the gym and being in there, that environment, and seeing everybody work out and stuff, versus just having this thing and just like.
No, I have both. I mean, I'm a member of almost four clubs, but then I have home workouts that I do when I'm not able to make it to the clubs. I this morning, I do my 100 push-ups every morning. It's either 100 push-ups or 100 crunches every morning. But having that would be one thing, but for me, but if I had a partner and it's like, okay, this is something we can do together. I'll do weights, you do that. One thing, but being by myself, my boys are at a point where they're used to heavyweight, do like we did back in the old days. So technology has its place. I'm not going to give it that. I'm not going to say it doesn't. I just haven't gotten to that part yet.
I got you.
But it does look good. So.
Okay, so not last one. The next one is favorite rappers and classic albums. Favorite rappers and classic albums. So I've been hearing this debate a lot between artists and who they are, and if they have a classic album, what's considered a classic album. So for me, I'd say to start off, the first person that comes to mind for me of who I have listened to that I can surely say okay, yes or no, is Michael Jackson.
I will not argue that.
The most classic album for me that I could personally speak on is Thriller.
Thriller changed. Thriller. You just talking about the album, right?
Talking about the album is so yes, the album itself with all the songs, listening to the album For me, it's classic.
Okay, so we're talking about audio, not visual.
I
The
guess
reason
you could
why I
talk.
say,
I guess you could talk visual too, because without the audio, there is no visual.
well, no, you could have the CD, you had the tape, it's the album you could play, right?
Right, but
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 they would
but
need
when
a song to make the video. You would
well,
usually
well,
have the song first and then make the video. You know,
well, remember videos were what quality was okay. The videos,
probably like 1080, 720.
well, with Thriller, since you use that, right?
Right.
Mike did not make a music video. He made a short story. He transformed the way that videos were done because everybody else is just somebody on the screen. Looking at my phone. I mean, that's all you see. You see the person, Palmer. They're just standing there. They're singing, but they're just standing there. When he did Thriller, that was cinema. You know why I say that?
No.
Okay. What year did Thriller? When did MTV put Thriller on a debut Thriller, the music video?
December 2nd of 1983.
Okay. December 2nd of 1983. There were no kids playing. No one was outside because even moms and dads, because this is little Mike Jackson from the Jackson 5, right?
Right.
He crossed so many genres because he'd been performing for such a long time. When he came out with Thriller, everybody was glued to their TV to see that.
Right.
He came out, and when he did Thriller, everybody from people still doing it on Halloween. And when don't you hear Thriller?
Right.
It's I mean, I know we're talking about MJ. It's just like with Prince in 1999. When don't you hear that song on New Year's Eve? You'll always hear Prince's 1999 on New Year's Eve because that was a turn. It's just the way that he did music videos made everybody else have to step up because he did not do a music video. He did a short film.
So would you say that? Okay, so I'll give one more from me. I would say Drake, but I'm not sure. I know you're not. I'm not sure if you're that hip to his discography.
Okay.
Okay, Usher.
I'll give Usher his props. Now you said Drake, right?
Yes, Drake for me. The class album for me is his album "Take Care" that he won a Grammy for.
Mm-hmm.
For
Well,
Usher is "Confessions" for me.
No, I will give him props for Confession. If you want, I'm gonna go on a stretch, and I'm gonna get a lot of kickback for this, which is what I want. I'm gonna say one of my favorite is LL.
Okay.
And you know why I say LL?
Is this like who he was as an artist, or who he is as
How
an
long?
artist?
How long has he been performing? How many people have dropped off since he started?
A lot.
I mean, you go that, if I go old school, I'm gonna go with God dog it, God, Chris Rock. I mean, Karis One, but those were Public Enemy. That's the people who I grew up with. Two Live Crew. If you want to get nasty, right?
Well, with so from those three,
But
which what would
but
be
what I'm
their
saying,
classic albums that you bring up?
but Better than Deffer. I've liked every one of LL's his music. It's the fact that you look at it. I mean, because everybody's had their one or two, 4 or 5 albums, except Mike. Every one of Mike's albums was a hit. I'm not gonna dispute that. It's just how long they've been doing it. You know, just like Dre, what he tells you, he's been doing music for how long?
Right.
He's still in the game, right?
Right.
LL started how long? He started back in 84, 85. Am I saying he's the best? No, that's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that he has been able to shift and he still makes good music. I mean, the last couple of albums I've gotten, some people say it's weak, which is okay, but it's not your taste. I mean, at one point, all I bought was Will Smith. You know why I played Will Smith?
No.
You will find this out, young blood. When you have kids in the car, you can't play Two Live Crew. You can't. There's a whole bunch of people you cannot play in the car, right? I definitely, as much as I like, get their hands in, as much as I like Busta Rhymes, I can't have Busta Rhymes in the car with the kids, right? Because hey, Buster has some hits, right?
Right.
But there's certain things because I'm respectful of my children that I'm not going to play because I don't want them to be, Daddy, what is a pussy? If you have to edit that out, I understand, right?
No, you're good. I
So,
got you.
yeah, you know, so because there's a lot of great artists out there. I mean, Outkast is good.
Wayne.
Lil Wayne, is that right?
Correct.
He has talent. I'm not gonna say. I mean, he wouldn't be where he is if he didn't.
Right.
I mean, it depends. You know what? For me, it really depends on the mood. Because there's some days I get home and I will bump some PE. Oh, sorry. You know who that is, right?
I know. Yeah. No, I know who said it.
Hey, I need my Chuck D, right? Find the power. I got a letter from the government the other day, right? And then there's days that I have my. As you've been with me, how many times I love the Beastie Boys. I'm gonna rock out to me some Paul Revere. But it depends on the mood I am. So am I saying that these guys are the greatest? Never said the greatest. I'm just saying that everybody has their spot. Because there's some stuff, because it's like, I'll put it this way. You basically you need a doggone notebook to listen to Jay-Z because the dogs that he kicks is.
I was listening to a podcast, and and he said, one of the guys reached out to him. He said, "I've been dropping jewels in almost every song, but nobody pays attention." And one of the songs that I really listen to is "The Story of OJ" on his 444 album. That one, but it feels like that one. And then he had a couple of the ones he has with Drake, but he's always dropping gems. And the best one for me so far is The Story of OJ.
And why?
the difference between listening to it and watching the video, I listen to it, I can kind of grab, as I'm listening to the lyrics, I kind of grab what he's saying. But when I'm watching, I'm like, because I like visually, like you can tell me something with words, but if you can draw it on pictures and they kind of come alive, I can understand
Is,
it
is
better.
is there a video to OJ?
Yes.
I've never saw it
Okay. Yes, there's a whole uh music video to it, and
because
it's really good. And one of the parts where he's talking about credit,
mhm,
one of the parts where he's talking about he could have bought Dumbo before it was Dumbo,
mhm.
about buying art and it, replicating itself over the years. And then he was talking about don't fight over the neighborhood that your mama's renting. Take your drug money, put it in your neighborhood. That's how you rent it. I'm like, you know, when I'm talking to a lot of people and I'm hearing a lot of people, I'm like, talking about having money or buying stuff and doing this. And I listen to that, it's like, yeah, Jay-Z's been dropping jewels for years on different songs, and you literally have to listen to it. But then that one song, the whole thing is jewels. Like, it's like if you took 3 or 4 features from different artists, whether it was um, Nas, Drake,
Mhm.
uh, what have you. If you took every couple features that he's been on and you put them all into one song for a year, that's really what the story of OJ was.
Well, I mean, I like the beat and everything that he did. What got me this thing is when he did 99 Problems. Because when he did 99 Problems, and everybody's good, and the only reason I said it is because you know who Dr. Cornel West is?
Yes.
Him, Jay Z were on I think it was Travis Smiley. They're on a they're on a talk show, late night talk show, and you know how bright and intelligent Cornel West is.
Right.
Are you sure you know who Cornel West is? Excuse me, Dr. West.
Yes. My dad showed me some stuff on him.
So the black dude with the afro that always wears a turtleneck in the suit.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, he religious studies. That dude is smart as a whip, right?
Right.
When Jay Z was sitting there talking to him about that song, and he goes, what, you a lawyer or something? You know something? And it's like, no, and he's like, okay. Then he hit racial profiling. He was smart enough to lock stuff in the car, so you know what? If you don't have a warrant, you can't get it. But it was funny that everybody, when he said 91 problems with a bitch 81, everybody took that as not what he was saying.
Right.
Because what bitch was he talking about?
From my perspective,
Mm-hmm.
it'll, any person, place, or thing that was illogical. From my perspective,
Well,
like
well,
not in a literal form. Other things besides a woman that would make him have to act out of character. And it's like
mm-hmm.
every single thing that would happen, whether it was like person, place, or thing. It's like I have all these things going on, all these corkscrews and riches. And the only thing that's not messing up is this woman. I got all this stuff going on, but this woman who y'all say, oh, women are problems. I got 99 problems. Everything going on. A
What he
woman is
called,
not one
but
right now. But he
yeah,
said, bitch, yes.
yes. So what was referring to?
A woman.
I would disagree with that.
Okay.
Because in the song, they told him wait, because when he wouldn't open everything because it was locked. What did he tell? They said, okay, we're gonna get the K9, right?
Right.
So we're gonna call the dogs to sniff out your car.
Right.
And what is a female dog called?
A bitch.
A bitch. That's what I said. 91 problems, but that bitch ain't one because he didn't say a bitch, my bitch. He said that bitch ain't one. This listen to the song again. 91 problems, but that bitch ain't one. Oh, you looking it up?
I'm looking at the lyrics.
And, I didn't want to put, but actually, I bring that back. 99 problems and a bitch ain't one. He said, and a bitch, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yes. So, but I'm going to call the dogs. So, but he wasn't defaming females. He was talking about this dog coming doesn't bother me, you know. But, but the way the poetic way that he talks as well. I listen because I listened to the whole CD. And I think the one that he did with his mom was amazing. Which one was that? But he talked about she was a thespian. No, she had that lurk, this, that, the other. It's like, okay. Um, um, Even what he did with Beyonce. Um, but I will say the studio. I am. My skin is black, and I'm trying to give you. What is it? I'm trying to give you.
$1 million worth of game for $9.99. Yeah.
And the thing
Okay, so
about
he
yes,
said right here. Where is it? Oh, okay. Got beef with the radio. If they don't play my show, they don't play my hits. Well, I don't give a shit. So then he goes on. So advertisers can get more cash for them ads. Don't know what you take me as, or understand the intelligence that Jay-Z has. I'm from rags to riches. I ain't dumb. I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one. So if you're having girl problems, I feel bad for you, son. I get 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. So, like I said, from my perspective, it's like there's something is always happening in negative light.
mm-hmm.
Something's always happening, and including having girl problems. Well, I got all this
Yeah,
going on, that she's hounding me. I got all this going on, and she's upset. I got all this going on, and she's, she. And it's like, I get what you're saying. I have all those problems, but that's not there. Like, I have everything that happens. I don't have any problems with women. You guys have all these problems. I got problems left and right, but that's not one. And it's like you guys, and then when he breaks it down, like radio critics, stuff like that, it's like each individual entity that could possibly do something negative towards me, I'm dealing with, but it's still not a woman. Like,
there you
it's
go.
still not a woman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. So that's what people are complaining about. I mean, he's telling them straight up, I got 99 problems, but this one is not one of my problems. I'm not sure if he was talking about Beyonce or whomever. I'm not going to speculate, but no, he's been kicking knowledge. I mean, that OJ is probably one of my because I sit back up in here like, okay, you know, uh, why did Jews own this? Why did this? And this is coming from a person who, yes, he tells you, I sold crack, I did this, I did this, I did all these things. But where am I now?
Yeah. Said, or is it, please don't die over the neighborhood as your mama written. Take your drug money and buy the neighborhood. That's how you rinse it. And then he could have bought a place in Dumbo before it was Dumbo for $2 million. Today's worth $25 million. And then my favorite one, you want to know what's more important than throwing money away at a strip club? Credit. You ever wonder why Jewish people own all the property in America? This is how they did it. And it's just like little things like that. But like I said, you take all the features that he's been on, that he's thrown gems, and he takes this one song and puts all them gems into it, and it's just like,
Well, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Uh,
If he wrote in a book, would you read it?
yep. Oh yeah, I'd read it, but I see what you're saying now because
If Jay-Z wrote a book, would the masses read it?
no, because uh, we haven't. My generation has not normalized reading as being something to do like watching a TV show or watching a movie. It's not normalized.
You guys, you guys are stimulated by visual, as in I need to see pictures, colors, and all that. That's why your cell phones have 15 cameras on it, so you can see it in vibrant color.
Right.
I grew up in an age where we only have four TV channels, and 22 was one of them. We have 4, 5, 7, 11, and 22, and you had to go click, 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 click. I grew up in an age where the national anthem was sung every night. You know when that was?
Nah.
When the TV station shut down. We didn't have 24/7 TV. At 11 o'clock, your granny would fall asleep to every night. We're signing off for the night. Boom. We'll be back in the morning. So we didn't have the bombardment of entertainment all day. I can see if I put my TV on now, it won't stop running until I turn it off. But that's where we are now. I mean, it's not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, if Jay-Z was to put down Jay-Z's memoirs and how I went from here to here, with the demographic he's trying to reach, read it.
No.
Warren Buffett puts out a book, everybody's going to read it, right?
Right.
What? I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I read John Maxwell. I read a lot of different books. But if he was to come out in written form, but what he's giving you is not what he's giving. He's giving you a blueprint. He's giving you a blueprint of how it's done. It's just now a matter of initiating it and adjusting it to your life and going for it. I mean, when he talked about the art, I'm thinking, he goes, "I bought a piece of art that's worth this much." So what he's telling you is that, you know what? So credit, because he made that what's more important to throw money away at a strip club is credit, right?
Right, and then I bought art worth 1 million. 2 years later, 2 million.
Yeah.
2 years later, 8 million.
8 million. I can't wait to give it to my children.
Yep.
So what is he saying?
That he got a return on investment, but two, he doesn't need that money. He's going to create generational wealth and pass it down. It
What
wasn't
did he
for
buy?
him. He bought artwork.
What is artwork?
Somebody's vision on a canvas.
Okay. Do we want more clear?
Yes.
The way you get rich and wealthy is by buying assets, not liabilities. Going to the strip club, throwing your money away. You're not getting anything. Yeah, you get a hard one and you need whatever, but you're not. It's nothing. So he said, what's more important than that is credit, right?
Right.
Okay. The way he's talking about credit, I'm not going to use the word credit because that doesn't apply to what he's saying. He's talking about the way he uses debt. Not credit, debt. And debt to poor people is a credit card that. Debt to a wealthy person is cheap money that I get from the bank that doesn't require me having any money. And I can go out and buy this thing and I can pay on it in time with cheap money. That's the way they look at debt. It's like, okay, inflation's at 6%. I get a loan. Not saying he needed the loan. That's not what I'm saying. Is the fact to be able to diversify. If it costs me $1 million to buy this thing, Yeah. So it takes me $1 million to buy it. Okay, that's cash money, right? He said he paid $1 million for it. That doesn't say that he dropped $1 million for it. That means that was the price. He could have pulled a black card that has an interest rate of 2%, and he's making payments on this thing. He still owns the artwork. It was just financed through debt, right? And if he has cash flow, he's not paying for it anyway. Somebody else is paying for that, right? Every bottle of his champagne that gets bought, everybody goes to the Super Bowl or the sporting event, he has money coming in. So when he says credit, yeah, he's like credit because credit equals debt. Because the better you credit, the more they will allow you to borrow. And you do not have to borrow, but 9 times out of 10, you will have to borrow because everybody, if people paid, okay, let's go back to Mike for a minute. Michael Jackson, right? When he died, how much money did he owe?
How much did he owe?
Mm-hmm. When Michael Jackson passed away, how much money was he in debt?
So it won't show me how much he.
What does it tell you?
It's telling me how much he was worth, but it's not showing me how much he owed. Let me see. Try to touch something different.
How much was he worth?
So time of his death, he was worth 500 million.
Okay.
And then
How much?
2018, his earnings reportedly reached 825 million.
Yes, but Neverland Ranch was not. Yeah, but if you check, you'll see that he was in debt. It's not a bad thing if you know how to do it.
Okay. 2005, a forensic accountant testified that he was spending 20-30 million per year, 20 to 30 million more per year than he earned. That was in debt by as much as 285 million. 2001, he borrowed 200 million from Bank of America to stay afloat.
Okay. So not saying he's the richest, but I'm Michael Jackson. Here, people. So rich and wealthy people use debt differently than we do. When we say we got debt, it's like, okay, I have a house, I have a car and I got credit cards that I make payments on, right? Their debt's different because everything that I just mentioned that I have a loan on is a liability, right?
Right.
They use that to buy apartment buildings, artwork, things that are going to go up in value. So it's not a liability; it's a asset.
Right.
It's like if you go ahead.
But yeah, that is very interesting. Yeah. But
What's interesting?
It's interesting that he had to borrow money. You hear about a lot of things, but you never hear about artists having to take out loans or take out credit to do things. Unless you're watching like Entertainment Tonight or something where they're just like report. If you're not that type of person that's like looking for it, it's interesting to know how much a person was borrowing or how much debt a person had that was, such an icon. You're thinking,
Well,
icon, you're making money, you're good. Like, you're taking care,
well,
you're doing what you gotta do.
well, Mike was different. Not a good, bad, just a different guy. And how often did he drop a record?
Every year? Every 5-10 years?
He dropped a record about every 5 to 8 years. He was back in that's what I'm saying. Most artists have to drop an album every year, just like you said. Then they have to tour on that, right?
Yep.
You think about it, when did Mike start performing?
When he was little.
By the time he dropped Off the Wall and he was grown with an afro, everybody knew who he was.
Right.
Right? So you walk into somewhere and he says, I want to buy this. Okay. Well, how much clout do you have? I'm coming up for Beat It. And it's going to go what? Remember, this is a dude who had females passing out because he had a white glove hanging out of a door of a limousine. Mike was bigger overseas than he was here. So knowing that this person can generate that, of course they're gonna lend him the money because then that's the thing right now. It's like right now, what interest rates on mortgages are low right now, right?
Right.
So since interest rates are so low, the savvy investor is going to get other people's money. He's going to go to a bank and borrow what he needs and not have to go into his own money.
Right.
Because as long as if he's buying an apartment building, the tenants are going to pay the loan off, not him. But what's the next question?
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Well,
so we go ahead and call it quits and yeah.
well, jingle bells.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what all that is.
No, we'll go ahead and end it. So
All right.